Hi guys, as you know, we moved to a village in Germany and now in our own garden we are planting our own vegetables like tomato, paprika, chili, cucumber, parsley, onion and carrot, a lot of things. So today we are going to show you the whole procedure, how we made this. 3 weeks ago we have started to prepare this. We started to prepare this place 3 weeks ago, removing all of the wild plants. I'm gonna open and see whether they are growing or whether they died because it's been 2 weeks we planted them. Let's get started.
So as my husband said, we started to clean the soil from wild plants 3 weeks ago, and then we started to plant 2 weeks ago. We cleaned mostly old root from the wild plant. I don't know what kind of plant was that, but the root went through very deep. It was a bit hard to take the whole plant at once, because if we didn't do it correctly, the root would be broken and then the rest stays in the soil and then it can grow again later. So we made sure to take the whole plant and roots so that they don't take any nutrition from the new plants. And here is the preparation. We planted in these small cups, and then when they have root already, we're going to move them on the ground, which is bigger. We planted parsley, green onion, carrot, tomato, cucumber, chili, another type of cucumber, and bell pepper or paprika. We started with the nutritious soil to mix with the soil in the garden to balance the pH level of the soil and make it more nutritious for the new plants. Hopefully, because we really just guess what we did. We are very newbie in this, but it makes sense, right? New babies need fresh food, so hopefully they grow with our logic. Anyway, for seeding, we purely only used the nutritious soil without mixing it with anything. And after putting the soil into around 60 cups, we started to write names of the plants on each small wood so that we can identify them easily later. By the way, I forgot to say that we planted basil too. I don't know how to say it, basil or basil. You can correct me in the comment section below. There's no basil in my country, Indonesia, or maybe there is basil, but it's not common, I'm sure about that. Anyway, we finished the names, and then the first thing we planted was tomato. And you know what? There is the plant name tag from the package. And since that's the first plant we planted, I thought the other plants have name tags too, but no, they don't. For watering the plant, we have a big tank for collecting rainwater, but this month is the driest March in Germany because there was no rain at all, but thankfully we still have water in the tank. By the way, sorry, I forgot again, we also planted strawberry. I'm sure I don't forget anything again. In the end of the video, you will see that. Alright, the next plant is cucumber. We planted 2 types of cucumbers, the small one and big one. To be honest, I don't know the difference of the taste, but if it works, then it's nice because we don't need to buy cucumber always from the market. So we planted tomato, cucumbers, bell pepper, and chili in small cups, and the others literally on the ground. For the ground, the first step is mixing the nutritious soil with the soil in the garden so that the pH level is balanced. When the pH level is too high or too low, the plants cannot absorb nutrition properly even if the soil is rich. So hopefully we did it right way. By the way, we bought the nutritious soil from the market, but actually you can make it by yourself too by mixing compost or H manure and worm castings. Well, at least that's what I read from the internet. I haven't tried it myself. And the first thing we planted on the ground is parsley. The seed is so small, so we just spread it randomly and mixing it with soil. We put the thin wood as partition every time we planted different things so that we know the border. Well, parsley doesn't need a lot of water, but it does like consistent moisture. It prefers soil that stays lightly moist, not too dry, and definitely not soggy. In general, watering 2 to 3 times in a week is enough, but if you're dealing with hot weather or your parsley is in a pot, you might need to water it more often, even daily. The key is to check the top inch of the soil. So if it feels dry to the touch, it's time to water it. That's it. By the way, the package of this parsley is so unique. At least it's my first time seeing it. The seeds are wrapped in a piece of tissue and it already has the same gaps, so we just need to plant them. Whoever made this idea is brilliant. Guys, I read something really interesting about parsley. So parsley completes its life cycle cycle over 2 years. In the first year, it grows those leafy greens we harvest, and then in the second year, it flowers, sets seed, and then dies. So if you let it go to seed in year 2, it can actually self-sow and come back naturally next season. Parsley can also survive light frost and even continue growing in cool weather, make it great for early spring or fall gardens. The next thing we planted was green onion. Started with the same procedure about the soil and then spreading the seeds. Well, this is my first time seeing green onion seed because usually I just saw my parents just plant the onion itself. Anyway, we mixed the seed and soil and then watered it. Hold on, I really forget what we planted here. But anyway, we go to the next plant, which is basil. Well, to be honest, I just knew this plant when I ate pizza, because usually there's basil in Italian food. Even though we're not gonna make pizza every day, but maybe I can use basil for something else. Let's see later. We also planted carrot, strawberry, and other things probably I forgot. Let's check how they are after 2 weeks.
So guys, let's check the paprika first and let's see whether it's still alive. I think I checked this previously. Let me check another one. We'll see whether the seed is still there. And the seed was very small, by the way. So I found the seed now, I guess. This is the seed. I see it is a bit wet, but I think it's alive still, but it needs time. Usually for paprika, I did a bit research. It needs more time compared to other things. Let's check the tomato. The tomato seed is a bit similar to paprika. Wow, I found it. I think, yes, it is here, but it's a bit smaller compared to paprika. I think it changed. The seed was a bit bigger. I hope it's gonna grow. And then let's check the chili. I think the chili we don't need to check because it must be similar to paprika. Let's check the cucumber. We have 2 different types of cucumber. These both are cucumber. Let me see how. Oh wow, okay. This looks so big. The cucumber is already growing so big. It shows there is progress, and until now we didn't have any progress, and now it shows that there is progress. Soon we're gonna get a plant too. We're gonna see the green head from the plant. There is something I am afraid of is tomorrow in the night it's gonna be -1 degrees. I hope they'll be still alive because I think maybe I need to move them inside for this night. Bring them back when the weather is better. So here also we planted some strawberries, and also we have parsley. We planted here parsley, green onion, and also carrot and basil, and there is strawberry. And I also bought some strawberry plants. I bought around 20 plants of strawberry, and I brought them here and planted them here. These are 3, and this one is the smallest one. I have them inside because strawberry is very fragile, and tomorrow it's gonna be very cold. That's why, like, in 2 days I'll bring them in the garden and plant them here. And
these are the strawberries I was talking about. My husband tried 2 ways. The first one is planting the grown one from the market, like this one. They are blooming already, that's good. And the other way is picking seeds literally from the fruit, dried them, and then planted them. Which one do you think is better? Because this is our first time planting strawberries. To harvest seeds from a strawberry, start by selecting a ripe strawberry. The tiny seeds are the little specks on the outer skin of the fruit. You can see the dot. Gently scrape them off using a knife or your fingers or tweezers and place them on a paper towel to dry.
By the way guys, we just unboxed this cool S7 watch from Tozo. It looks just great. Lets you take calls, connect via Bluetooth, and has tons of features. If you are interested, link is in the description.
Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully our plants are growing. We will let you know the progress in the next video. So bye bye.